So welcome back to our channel. Hope you all are doing great. In this video, we are going to discuss everything about DOM, document object model. We'll see the different relations between elements of DOM, parent, child, sibling, and we also apply all the concept in the browser dev tools, which we have learned in this video. So let's get right into it. So let's start with the video, right? So in this video, I'll be explaining what is DOM, and I'll be like going in this this fashion. So I'll be explaining all these topics one by one, right? So let's first discuss what is DOM. So DOM is nothing but document object model, right? This is an abbreviation for document object model. So what is document object model? Let's break this abbreviation down. So document means an HTML document, right? This is an HTML document, right? Just see it and just think that this is an HTML document from which this output is generated, the code output is generated. So right, what is an object? So assume that these are actually HTML tags, but I'm not calling it tags right now. I'm not calling all of them tags right now. I'm just saying that these are objects, right? Treat them as objects. Anything in the angular bracket is an object. So meta is an object, title is an object, head is an object, body is an object, right? This HTML tag is an object. So treat every thing in the angular brackets as an object, right? So this object starts from here, ends till here, right? So we have covered document, we know what is an object and what is a model. So model is a schematic for something, right? So what is a schematic? Matlab anything which is giving it a structure is model, right? So what do I mean by this? So this HTML document is a model in itself, right? What do I mean by this? So this is a document, these are the objects, and they are modeled in some way, right? They are modeled in some way, and this is called DOM, right? So how they are modeled? So you can see this is an object called HTML, right? And inside this object we have this body tag, and it is inside this object. Like focus on the term inside this object, right? Inside this HTML object we have an object called body. I'm not calling them tags right now, I'm just treating them as objects, right? So this is an HTML tag, inside there is a body, right? So this is kind of a model. So we have HTML tag and inside we have a body tag, and similarly I can have let's say h1 tag, one h1 tag maybe I may have, or maybe I can have two h1 tags here, right? I can have a div tag here, right? So just don't think that what is this h1 and what is this div. Just treat everything, just take everything as like an assumption right now. I'm not explaining what is div, what is h1 as of now. I'm just explaining DOM, right? So just bear with me, right? So this so everything, this h1 tag, each one of these tags are coming inside a body tag, and this is another model. So I've created a model for this website. So this is nothing but document object model, right? So we have covered document object model. Now you may know like what is document object model. So in this so why do we need a document object model, you may ask. So actually what happens is that when a browser parses this HTML page, so browser kya karta hai? Browser creates a tree like structure. So what is a tree like structure? I'll just explain you by this. So it creates a tree like structure, it creates a hierarchy. So what is hierarchy? So by hierarchy I mean you have your parent, right? Your parent is having two children, right? Maybe you and maybe your sister, maybe your brother, right? So your sister is having two children and their children is having two more children. So this is a hierarchy, you see that मैं ये बोल सकता हूँ, can I say that HTML is the parent for body tag, body object, let's say, right? So can I say that body object is the parent for all of these objects, right? Can I say that? Can I say that? Because it is enclosed by these tags, right? So body object is actually having four children, right? So can I say that this h1 tag is a sibling to this h1 tag? Can I say that this div tag is a sibling to this h1 tag? I can definitely say that. So this is nothing but document object model. And why do we need it? So browser uses this like this object model to parse the website and display the website on your page. Also this kind of modeling of our code gives us the ability to parse the code in the right way. We'll do the parsing, हम traverse करके देखेंगे, हम एक एलिमेंट को निकाल के लेके आएंगे वेबसाइट में से और वो देखेंगे कैसे लेके आते हैं. but let's just let's just see what is document object model right now, right? So the practical visualization, so this is, you can see, this is how a document object model works. So there's a document, this is the whole document, you know, this is the whole document. And don't worry, don't think what is doc type, don't think what is HTML, just treat everything as assumption right now. So this is the whole document, this is the HTML tag, which is the child of document, right? Because it is coming inside the document, right? So this is the whole document, and inside it there's an HTML tag, and inside this HTML tag there's a child called head. So we definitely have a child called head. We definitely have a child called title, right? We definitely, head definitely has a child for title. Don't think what is title, just ye mano ki we head tag has a child called title, right? Okay, fair enough. Title has a child of text, right? So in this case it's document. I can, you know, rename it to my title just to match the model which is there. So you can see this is updated, right, to my title. It was earlier document. So I'm not explaining the functionality of title as of now, but yeah, title is having a child of text, which is my child, right? Then there's a body tag. Yeah, there's a body tag, there's a h1 tag, and there can be other tags also. There can be a tag. So now I'm referring to these objects as tags now, right? Because now we are moving to the practical implementation. So let's just call these objects as tags. So these are HTML tags, right? So what are HTML tags? So any object you can say in the document object model is the tag of, you know, HTML. So anything enclosed in the angular brackets is the HTML tag, right? It provides a basic functionality to the code. H1 tag का मतलब होता है कि it provides heading. So every tag has different functionality of it. We'll learn every tag here, but let's refer to them as tags now, right? So now you see that this is the practical visualization. You can visualize DOM as parent and children and siblings and grandparents and all these kinds of things, right? So this is how a DOM is visualized. So what is DOM? Document object model. Document having objects modeled in such a way creates a DOM, creates document object model, right? So this is DOM, right? So let's see what is the relation between tags. So we know that body is the parent of h1, right? We can say that, and we can also say that h1, each of these two h1, let's say this is not h1, let's say this is h2, right? Let's say this is h2. So this h2 is sibling to this h1. Let's name it this one as h3. So h2 is parent is the sibling of h2. H1 is sibling of h2, h2 is sibling of h3 also, and these all are siblings in one another, right? Vice versa, right? Body is the parent of all of these tags, right? And head is the sibling for body. So this is kind of the relationship which I want you to explain, know that these are we treat all these tags as parents, children and siblings, right? So this is how the DOM model works, and this is how the browser also perceives the DOM model, right? So you know now understand the working of the DOM tree, right? Parents, siblings and children, right? Okay. So let's discuss what are nested and empty tags. So okay, so let's see what are nested and empty tags. So what I can do here is I can just say that you can see what do we mean by nested? Nested means something enclosed in something else, right? Something enclosed in something else, right? So what is a nested tag? So body is a nested tag because it can contain other tags inside it. So inside it, by inside it I mean, so between this closing tag, every HTML tag can have closing tag or cannot have a closing tag, right? Body does have a closing tag, right? So this is any HTML tag which has a closing tag is a nested HTML tag, right? So we can nest things inside this tag, right? So this is what we mean by nested tags, right? So what is empty tag? Empty tag, let's say there's a tag called input in HTML. So this is an empty tag. I can use this tag without using the empty tag, or maybe I can do this, right? I can open and close at the same time, right? So this is the basic functionality you need to understand, that a tag may have a closing and will have a closing and an opening and a closing tag if it is a nested tag, and it will not have a closing tag if it is a empty tag. So empty लेट्स से मैं इधर एक इनपुट बनाता हूँ. इनपुट टैग अभी समझ नहीं आएगा. यहाँ पे देखो एक इनपुट टाइप का वो मतलब दिस इज काइंड ऑफ लाइक इन अ फॉर्म यू टाइप इनपुट हेयर, राइट? सो यू कैन टाइप स्टफ हेयर. सो दिस इज अ इनपुट टैग, राइट? सो दिस डजंट नीड एनी क्लोजिंग टैग बिकॉज इस इनपुट में मैं क्या ही ऐड कर सकता हूँ, बट बॉडी के अंदर इनपुट आ सकता है, राइट. सो दिस इज वाई वी यूज नेस्टेड एंड एम्प्टी टैग्स, एंड you can see that an empty tag will not have any children. This is like bare minimum that you all guys understand this, right, through logic only. So it can have siblings, it can have parents, but it will not be having any children, right. So a nested tag will be having children, it can become a parent of any other tags, right. So ये all these things are just like a theory part of HTML. हम इसको बस as ट्रीट कर रहे हैं कि मतलब हम एक वेबसाइट का स्ट्रक्चर, लेट वी आर जस्ट गेटिंग आवर हैंड्स डर्टी, लाइक दिस इज जस्ट the starting phase of HTML course. So this is just theory part of the HTML, this is not any practical thing. So you just have to listen and understand whatever I'm saying right now, right. So yeah, so we've covered this. So let's traverse this DOM tree using the dev tools, right. So मैंने बोला था कि हम इसको ट्रैवर्स करके देखेंगे. सो लेट्स सी हाउ दिस वर्क्स, राइट. सो हियर आई हैव दिस वेबसाइट, द वेबसाइट आई हैव लाइक just wait a minute, I'll just copy this link, right. I'll just copy this link. What I'll do, I'll just copy this link, I'll open my Google Chrome and I'll just paste this link and I'll just press enter, right. So the same the same web page will open in my Google Chrome also. So when I update this code, so this will also get updated, right. So you can see the Google Chrome page is also getting updated, right. So it will look like this in your browser at first, right. So okay, so you can see now we have access to this. So what do I need in Google Chrome? So I need you to press right click and just click this inspect button. Just click this inspect button and it will take you to this this page. So you can see that ये हमारा वेबसाइट का कोड है, जो हम कोड वहाँ पे लिख रहे हैं. दिस इज एक्जैक्टली द सेम कोड विच इज देयर प्रेजेंट देयर, राइट. सो यू कैन सी मैं यहाँ पे क्लोज एंड ओपन कर सकता हूँ टैग्स को, एंड इफ आई ओपन द बॉडी टैग यू कैन सी दैट ऑल द चिल्ड्रन ऑफ बॉडी टैग्स आर लिस्टेड हियर, राइट. सो लेट्स सी. ओके, सो मैं इसको थोड़ा रिफैक्टर करूँगा जस्ट टू मेक थिंग्स मोर क्लियर टू यू. आई विल मेक div, right, div tag of class A into 4. I'll make 4 div tags of class A, right. You don't have to assume what are classes, though. Let me just explain class. So let's see the definition. A specific list of class of the element. Classes allow CSS in JavaScript to select and access specific elements via CSS selectors. So this is the paper definition. So what do I mean by this? So for example, you are in a classroom. I'll just take a example. You're sitting in a classroom and every student is having a roll number, right. So I want to know that maybe your roll number is 21. So I'll just say roll number 21 and you will stand up yourself, right. So every HTML tag in this like you can say area, like in this web page may or may not, it is upon us, we may want to or may not want to give a class name to a tag, but if we give a class name we can uniquely access that specific tag without any traversals through DOM tree. We'll also access this tag through traversal DOM tree, but when we provide a class things become a little bit easier for us. So what becomes a little bit easier, for example this is a div tag, right, and I want कि ये div tag एक box की shape ले ले, right, in our web page. So what I'll do is I'll just simply give it a class of box, and in my CSS file I'll just select this box class somehow. I'm not explaining how, but I'll select this box somehow and I'll just add my styling to that, and voila, like I'll be having this particular div tag having a shape of box and maybe color or maybe whatever styling I want to give it, right. So this is a class, right. So class is nothing but I can I give me a space separated list. So this div tag is having a class of A, B and C, right. It is not A space B space C, it is A and B and C. So these are all separate classes, right. So okay, so what is classes, again I'll explain. So I'm not satisfied with the explanation, so मैं एक और बार repeat करूँगा. So classes is nothing but you can uniquely identify something using the class of that thing. This class may or may not be unique, right. This class may or may not be unique. एक और चीज़ होती है इसमें ID, right. So you can provide an ID, but ID has to be unique, right. So इसकी ID has to be unique. Every tag having an ID should be a unique ID in the whole web page, right. So ID is just also another way to access a tag, to uniquely identify a tag. But if I want, for example, इन सब की ये सब एक लिस्ट में बिलोंग करते हैं, और ऑफ कोर्स लिस्ट के सेम एलिमेंट्स को तो मैं सेम स्टाइलिंग देना चाहूँगा, उनको सेम हाइट, सेम विड्थ, सेम फॉन्ट साइज वगैरह देना चाहूँगा, तो उन सबको एक बार में ही सिलेक्ट करने के लिए मैं सबको सेम क्लास दे दूंगा और सब पे वो स्टाइलिंग लग जाएगी. बेसिकली स्टाइलिंग और जावास्क्रिप्ट का ही काम आता है क्लास, बिकॉज वी नीड टू यूनिकली आइडेंटिफाई देयर ओनली, राइट. सो मैंने यहाँ पे क्या करा है, मैंने क्लास एक्सप्लेन कर दिया एंड आई हैव क्रिएटेड 4 div tags with class A, right. So let's see, let's access these div tags. So you can see there's nothing on our page right now. हमने कुछ अभी ऐड नहीं किया है पेज में, हमने कोई कोड नहीं लिखा है. अगर मैं यहाँ पे कुछ ऐड करूँ तो यू कैन सी आउटपुट दिखेगा, पर अभी हमने कुछ ऐड नहीं करा, हम बस कोड के टर्म्स में बात कर रहे हैं अभी, राइट. सो व्हाट आई विल डू, I'll just type this is a command, right. This is a command, this is document, right. The whole document is selected. You can see पूरा screen मेरा blue हो गया, right. Whole document, whole web page is selected. I'll just type dot and I'll just type query selector. तो query selector क्या करता है, आप इसमें एक class selector दे सकते हो. class selector हम कोर्स में आगे पढ़ेंगे, अभी आपको इसकी टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, मैं बस DOM tree traverse करके दिखा रहा हूँ, right. So what we'll do is we'll do a query selector and inside this I can add a query, right. I can add a selector. So what is a selector? So I can select this, मैंने बोला था कि I can call roll number 21 and you'll stand up. So when will that happen? That will simply happen when I'll try to access you, right. And I'll say roll number 21. If I vaguely say 21, you don't know what to do, right. So if I say roll number 21, then roll number 21, the student with roll number 21 will stand up. So I have to select this in such a way that this web page understands. So these are selectors. We'll be covering those in our upcoming videos. But abhi ke liye I'll just assume everything and as in you can say just take assumption and just trust me, right? So what you'll do, I'll just add a dot a here, right? Okay. I've added a dot a. So I have selected a class. Dot specifies a class. So again, this is something from the selectors video, right? So I'll say dot a and I'll just type a here, okay. So you can see something has happened. So I'll just press enter. So you can see that div class A has been selected, the first child with class A. So let's say मैं इसको let's say I'll add 1 2 3 here. Let's say I'll add 1 2 3 4 here, right. So I'll again add, you can see that 1 2 3 is 1 2 3 4 is visible on our web page now. I'll again type the same command, and what happens is the first element which comes with class A is selected, right. Okay, fair enough. So you can see this div tag, iska code, we have got this code, right, through this document.query selector. Okay, so let's apply some DOM concepts here. Okay, so I'll just type dot document.query selector dot. Now what this line of code will do, it will select the first child with class A, right. I'll just say next element sibling. I just press enter and I have the the div class which was having a text 2 in it. So इसका next sibling कौन है? Definitely ये है, right. Okay, let's try to access his parent. So okay, so I'll just do parent element. These are the commands, these are simple commands, right. और you don't have to learn these commands. ये commands बस हम traversal के लिए कर रहे हैं ताकि आपको एक वेब पेज कैसे वर्क करता है वो पता चल जाए, कि एक ब्राउजर कैसे ट्रैवर्स करता है एक वेब पेज वो पता चल जाए. आपको इस वीडियो में कुछ भी रटने की जरूरत नहीं है, राइट. यू डोंट नीड टू मेक नोट्स. मैंने इस वीडियो में काफ़ी फ्यूचर कॉन्सेप्ट्स भी समझाए हैं, क्लास जैसे अभी नहीं समझाना था, राइट. बट सम आई गिव यू सम हिंट्स. देन ऑफ कोर्स दिस हाउ ID वर्क्स, राइट. सो यू डोंट वरी, right. I'm just discussing how a web page works right now. Just listen to me and you'll be good to go right now, right. I'll explain everything, every code aspect in upcoming videos also, right. Element, okay, I type element. So okay, I've typed parent element and I press enter. So what it gave me is, it gave me a body. The whole body tag is given to me. So what happened is that this till this code, इतने कोड ने क्या मेरे को, इतने कोड ने मुझे दिया the first element which was having a class A, which is this element. And if I type dot parent element in front of it, what I'll get is the whole parent element in which this element is present. So I have got this whole parent element. So this is how it works. So if I type document.query selector, let's say body, I select say body tag, right, and I'll just say child element count. Okay, so it gives me 4. Of course body tag is having 4 children. So you can see browser कैसे एक वेब पेज को देखता है. ब्राउजर हम in this, you know, in this inspect, you go to console, and मैं यहाँ पे browser की भाषा में browser से बात करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. I am giving it functions to do, and it is able to understand my code through these functions only, right? So this is how a div tag, like this is how everything works in this, right, in the browser, and this is how browser perceives whatever like is happening, right? So we've covered all these topics now. I hope DOM tree is clear to you. I hope how do a browser understands a web page is clear to you. I know that there are a lot of things, technical things which I discussed in this video, right? But that was also important to discuss, right? So, but I'll be discussing all of the technical aspects, all of the coding aspects. You don't have to assume, you don't have to know anything in this code right now. This was just a video which get you started with programming in browsers, right? So you need to know how a browser functions and understands a web page. So this was just this, right? So, and you know, मेरी एक आदत है, when I'm teaching, right, if I'm not satisfied with the explanation, I'll keep on repeating, right? So that might get annoying, but of course that is needed for some students, right? So this is how the browser works. This is a DOM tree, and you have traversed the DOM tree, you have done everything in DOM tree, and hope it is like you can explain this DOM tree to someone else now, right? So this was about DOM tree. Until the next video drops, take care and keep coding.